All right. Hello and welcome, everyone. This is going to be the informational session for our Scholastic Fellows program. Quick check that everybody can hear me okay and see my screen. I'm going to be going over this. Couple of things. Who I am, I'm James Wood. I was a part of the Scholastic Fellows program in year one when it started back in 2018. Since then, I've gone on to be a Scholastic mentor, community leader, and now I am the one in charge of the program, and I work full-time for NASEF. I am a former high school and middle school teacher. I've written curriculum for esports. I've actually taught an esports elective class. And I've coached a middle school team that was about 4 years in a row. So it was pretty interesting. A quick overview of what today looks like. I'm going to talk a little bit about who is NASEF, what is NASEF, and a little history of, everything of the program, just kind of let you know really what you're getting yourselves into. I'm going to share a little bit about our community of practice, give you a rundown of the timeline of what this looks like, some of the benefits, the responsibilities, and then talk about what the milestones are. And then we're going to open this up to Q&A at the end. Our application packet is available on our website at nasef.org/scholastic-fellow. I went ahead and put that in the chat for everybody. So quick overview, NASEF is a worldwide nonprofit, and we really work to equip education, community, and industry leaders to help maximize the potential of esports, and scholastic esports in particular. So we have this vision and goal to ensure that students have knowledge and skills to be society's game changers. We really want to use esports as a force for good, and the Fellows program is one of the ways in which we do that. So this is our team. We like to say we have a small team with big dreams. Some of you know some of the people on our team. Some of them have been presenting at conferences around the area, maybe even where you are, and maybe that's how you found out about this. So we also have a ton of partners that we work with currently and in the past. Everybody from Epic, Unreal, we've worked with the State Department through our Minecraft, Cleverlike, who does a ton of wonderful Minecraft work, our partners at Play Versus, we've done SkillQuest bot coding stuff. So NASEF started back in 2018, and it has grown to span a lot of clubs, ton of students across 70 countries, and we have affiliates that are throughout the world. There are affiliate organizations, both in the United States and globally. Just a few of those on here. I'm not going to read all of those. NASEF is also the official education partner to the IESF, or International Esports Federation. And we really do work with them. We've done trainings for them in Busan. We've presented at different conferences in their world championships. And part of what we really want to do is we want to see a pathway or pipeline that helps take esports all the way through. We've had fellows at all age groups, all levels. We've had folks in college all the way down to elementary school. We've had some folks in industry who are working as part of this to really grow it. And our core philosophy is this NASEF ecosystem. Our main idea is that in esports, you have people that are the players. They kind of form your core, the people that play and compete in the game titles. But surrounding them is this entire ecosystem of opportunities. This is ways that students can expand their learning in STEM and STEAM-based skills. You can have people working on shoutcasting, journalists. There's a lot of media side of things. There's a huge marketing component, event management. Really, this ecosystem has been in most of our presentations. It's used all over the place. It's one of the things we believe very wholeheartedly in. So what is this Scholastic Fellows program that we have? So Scholastic Fellows program, at its core, it is providing a professional learning community through mentorship and instructional coaching. We have a fantastic group of people that I'm going to show you just a rapid fire of all of these people that we've had here. And it really is helping provide you with curriculum, tools, resources, but honestly, the mentorship and the instructional coaching components are the key parts of this fellows program. Um, People from around the world have participated in this in multiple areas. We start off at the fellow level, which is if you're a first year joining this program, you start off here and your focus is really on what you can implement and what you can do. Moving on, a lot of our fellows will apply to join us again as Scholastic mentors in the future years. Our mentors work with the new group of fellows each year and take on a few that they work with. You can reach out to them at any time. They'll often set up meetings, give you some coaching, some advice, some resources. And then our community leaders are really the group that has graduated beyond that. They are the ones that we'll send in to train people, to help them learn. Let's say we have an organization that wants to have a workshop and we know a trainer of trainers or a community leader in the area. We might subcontract with them. This has led to our kind of network of professional consultants. This program started off with very, very humble beginnings. This is part of the initial crop of Scholastic Fellows. We started way back fall of 2019, 2020. And if you've been in the esports area for a while, some of these faces on here, some of these names you'll see as kind of leaders in this area. Many of them have gone on to found entire leagues or organizations. This program started expanding internationally. We added some folks out of the UK. There were some folks that were added out of South Africa. And it really is just something that kept growing. If you just kind of take a moment and look at that, we've got some folks all over the United States. And then it continued. The next year was even more diverse. We had folks from Kuwait, Egypt, India, Canada, South Africa, South Korea. This is all just in this year. Scotland, Germany, Mexico, the UK, somebody else from South Africa, Japan, Costa Rica, Australia. This is all just in that 1 year. These were all fellows and mentors that we had. So it really is a worldwide community of practice. And we have fellows and mentors all around the globe. We have somebody near everybody. And a lot of the best parts of this is really just how you can learn from them. We have an incredibly diverse, awesome group of educators. Some of these faces, if they pop up and look familiar, that's why. I'm going to just go through these and you can look back at these later if you want. But we really do have this incredible network of people that our fellows are a part of. So all that being said, and these are some of our fellows from this last year. We have folks at all ages, all demographics, and it's just been really, really great. I mentioned earlier some of our community leaders. These are, generally speaking, our regional trainers, folks that we can call upon to go help facilitate things. And what we've formed is really this virtual community of practice. So we have in the Fellows Program a synchronous component. These are your bi-weekly check-ins with either myself or one of the mentors. We have a calendar and you kind of just schedule time as it works for you. We have some groups that collaborate where you might group with other fellows and mentors and meet on your own schedule. And then we have the monthly PLC meetings. Now, these are at 2 separate times of day. Traditionally, and what we found works the best for the most folks is we do a Wednesdays at 4:30 Pacific time, which is UTC -7 if you're international. And then we've also do one at 8:30 a.m. on Thursdays has kind of been the time and day that works the best for these. So in addition to the synchronous component, we have some asynchronous components to this program. There's a few different video challenges. We have an amazing Scholastic Fellows Mentors Discord where you can communicate with them. And Discord kind of serves as the bridge between those, where we will have some synchronous conversation days, but you can answer asynchronously. So the general timeline of events is going to be listed here. Our program application is going to close in July 27th to be exact. And I'm going to go into all the details of what you need in there. In August, we will have a committee review all of the applicants. There's an initial pre-screening followed by a committee that will review all of them. And then in September, our fellows are going to be notified whether they were selected or not. And then we will have a kickoff call that they'll be invited to. Afterward, we're going to jump into a very similar cadence throughout the year. Most months, you've got a monthly PLC. That's at one of those 2 times. You are not required to join both, but we would ask that you try to join one as much as possible. Totally understand that things do happen. And then our plan to have those recorded just in case as a backup. Throughout that, you'll have bi-weekly one-on-one meetings with either the mentors or the instructional coach. That's me. And then coming up, our first milestone in December is kind of just an implementation plan in a video. And then the final milestone is essentially due at the end of May and then June. So May, June, we try to do a end of year celebration. We do an experience as the Scholastic Fellow, quick little video, and then some feedback on that. So what do you need to apply? First, there's an online application. It's a Google form. In that application, you're going to be asked for a letter of support from an admin. Now, if you are an administrator of your own organization, which this question came up, you can put a placeholder in if you need to. If you are working with a group or working with another organization, having a letter from their admin that they are supporting the work that you are doing can be helpful. An introduction video. I cannot emphasize enough how important the introduction video is to this process. We've built an amazing community of folks, but it is also a fairly elite community. And what we don't want to have is we don't want to have somebody who's just throwing together a video as they run through the grocery store and they're just doing a quick recording of, yeah, hey, I want to be a fellow. Sounds great. I like this and that. It really doesn't speak well to what they want to do. Our application says between 5 and 10 minutes. Please don't go over that because it'll take forever for us to watch it. But the introduction video is our chance to get to know who you are, why you should be a part of this program. And if needed, that might go to a potential virtual interview. This might happen if we need additional clarification or if there's something in your application that we just kind of want to talk about. And if you do all of this, and if you are one of the selected fellows, then you'll join our kickoff meeting in September. And it is an 8 to 9 month program. It'll run through the end of June. Part of the benefits of this program, and you can read over this later on, but part of this is we have this professional learning community. Absolute best time of the program is in these monthly meetings. I will regularly hop on one of these calls and we leave those calls rejuvenated, energized. There's a great group of people. And honestly, it helps so much to find that if you are struggling with something, somebody across the world or across the state or even in the same state has probably struggled with it and might have a solution for you. A ton of the collaborative opportunities there. There's the one-on-one coaching. There's access to our network of people. We can share all of what we have. And honestly, there's options to support you in speaking at local, regional, state conferences. If there's an event or if you have to present to a group of administrators or a school board, there's a lot of good information that we can all share. Now, some of your responsibilities, if you're selected as a fellow, if you can, try to activate a club. Get an esports club going at your program. Totally understand not everybody's directly working with students at that level. But if not, at least join NASEF on the website. And honestly, it is very open-ended as to what your project is. The Fellows Program initially started off as working on curriculum and teaching content, and there are still a lot of folks that will do that. I'm going to share some of these other projects that people have done just to kind of get some ideas going for you. But really it boils down to a couple of shared commitments and whatever project you're working on as something that can be left as an artifact to others. So we have some shared commitments as fellows. There's milestones. That is your implementation plan, followed by a capstone project. I'll get into what the capstone can be. It's very open-ended. It's meant to support something that you are doing or will be of benefit to you. Monthly professional learning calls, biweekly check-ins with the mentors or the coaches, and engaging in our Scholastic Fellows Discord. And there's sometimes single events. If you are a fellow and want to attend Esports Summit in Atlanta, it's October 29th this year. It's a great time. We every year, except this one, we do an end of the year celebration in June. And then if there's participation in local regional conferences, we'll try to share those with you, and you may have to or want to participate in those. I will say that regularly we are asked to speak at all sorts of different conferences. When we do, we will often try to find fellows in the area, invite them on. Maybe they'll do a panel, maybe they'll join us in presenting. Maybe they'll be there and you get access to the conference and get to present with us. And it's a great way to kind of meet people and grow your own network. So our two big deadlines in December, after you've been in the program for a few months, we want you to have an implementation plan. We want you to have a plan in place that says, hey, this is what I'm doing for this year. This is the project that I'm doing. Here's the challenges that I have. Here's where I might struggle. Here's the support I'm going to seek out. Really help you dive into what you are working on and iterate upon that. And then the second half of this is your capstone project. Now, ideally, by the end of May, you'll be able to get this submitted in to us. This is something that can be a huge variety of things. I will go over a bunch of those, but basically it is, what did I work on that I brought out of this fellows program? If you had a particular project or a niche or something that you struggled with that you worked on this year, your capstone project might be some documentation on how you overcame those struggles as something that we can eventually add to a larger library. Speaking of, there's a lot of content on the NASEF website. There's curriculum that has been approved by state of California's UC system, and others. They've adopted this. There's English language arts content. There's some middle school content, out of school. There's a community library. And this is where we feature and share content that was created by our Scholastic Fellows. So this is material that has often been designed by educators or stress tested in their classrooms. And there's also some tools and resources for you. Again, this does not have to be your capstone project, but it absolutely could be. A lot of our fellows have contributed to this community library. It is a repository of esports-focused curriculum that other people can use. And just as a heads up, this is not something you have to pay to access. You can go on the website right now and navigate and make a free account and join this, whether you're a fellow or not. The community library is really just a public repository of work that our fellows have done. Again, there's a huge variety of how you want to do this. You could do curriculum that's focused on neurodivergent and special education. You could focus on out of school time. You could focus on building programs at the collegiate or university level. Just to give you an idea of the scope, I've seen everything from getting a club started at my middle or elementary school to building a district-wide Scholastic Esports program that encompasses 36 schools, to somebody who actually put in a university track across 6 different universities for esports. So the scale of what you want to do is very, very up in the air, and there's a lot of variety there. Some things that some of our fellows did, they did a World Peace Through Play project where we actually had somebody from the UK and the US meet up and play middle school against a college in cross-continental Rocket League. This was an awesome, fun little project. We had another fellow that did a meet and greet with another country where the teams built replicas of their schools, and then they hopped onto a shared call and gave tours of their schools to folks from another country. So it was an opportunity for the kids to meet kids in another place and share a little about their culture. It was like a cultural exchange project. Again, similar to this one was another game night that was the US and Mexico. We had university and high school meeting up to play. This one was a fellow that actually worked on a adaptive toolkit for coaches that were supporting players of diverse needs. So she wanted to create something that would be used by coaches and teachers. If you're in an esports program and you're like, hey, I don't really know what I need to do to adapt this or how to communicate well or ways that you can do. So the sky is the limit on what you want to do. Some of our fellows did a Battle of the Boroughs, which is a competition across the entire city of New York where they culminate in a Minecraft competition that was sponsored by the New York City Mayor's office. So citywide contest was what they chose to showcase as their capstone. A few different other things. If you can present at conferences, we would absolutely support you in that. You could co-present with fellows and mentors. Some of these also might include publication opportunities. We might be able to, sometimes Tech and Learning will reach out and want an article on a topic, or eSchool News will help support you with some interviews on that. One of our fellows did a research book and actually got it published with help of other fellows. So there was a lot of peer review done there. This is just a lot. We've presented at all sorts of places. There's FETC, ISTE, UCI. These are not exhaustive. A couple of different articles that have shown up in eSchool News. So there's a lot of opportunities, a lot of places that fellows can go. And if you want to apply, here again is kind of the information. The packet is on our website, and you can go over that entire packet. Like I said, I am going to leave some time for open Q&A. So I'm going to leave this right here with our contact information and my contact information. Please feel free at any time to reach out if you have questions or concerns or you're wondering about applying, and honestly refer anybody that you think would be a good candidate for this program. We would love to have as many applicants as possible and come up with the best group of fellows that we can. With that, I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording and end it here. If you have questions and would like to stick around for a Q&A, then this time is for you.